Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is that time. You know what time it is. It's turkey time. It is Thanksgiving. And if you're anything like my family, tensions are really high during this time of year. So you know what you need to calm down those tensions? A drink. So without further ado, today we're going to go over the best 6 drinks to have during Thanksgiving. Let's get to it. Number 1, rye whiskey. So the rye whiskey I chose for this year is Wild Turkey. Why, you may ask? Well, it's a turkey. You gotta have wild turkey for turkey time on Thanksgiving. You just can't have anything else. So what I got here is the 81 proof Wild Turkey rye. If you can find the Wild Turkey Rye 101, I prefer that. It's a little higher proof. I like a little higher proof. But this one will do real well. So let's pour it up. Ooh! The reason I picked a rye as my number 1 is because they tend to have a little bit more seasonality to them. They have a little bit more black tea, a little more seasonal spice, a little bit of that anise, like black licorice flavor to them. They just make you feel in the spirit of Christmas, kind of, a little more earthy. So that's why I chose this as my number 1, so let's get to it. A little bit of apple, some vanilla, a little bit of oak. Not getting too much on the nose. Again, it's only an 81 proof, so it's going to be a little light. So if you're a beginning drinker, this one's perfect. On the palate, you get a little bit of butterscotch, a little bit of that tea, a little of that spice. It's not really a cinnamon spice or a baking spice. It's more of like a herbal spice to it. So this goes great with turkey. You don't want to go too hot on your whiskeys. You don't want to blow out your palate. You still want to be able to taste the rest of your food and not overpower what is most important, which is obviously the turkey. A little bit of black pepper. You'll get a little bit of that vanilla butterscotch. Palate's actually not too weak. It doesn't last very long. The finish is not very long. Little oily, not too bad. Overall, it's really good rye. If you haven't tried rye before, it's really light rye. It's not too overpowering or too spicy like some ryes can get. So if you're new to rye, this is a perfect introductory rye to try. All right, drink number 2. This right here is 1792 Bottled and Bond. So this right here is a bourbon. Now, if you don't like ryes, you've tried ryes before, but you still like bourbon, go with something like this. Go with a Bottled and Bond, or something in the 50% range is good. If you're new to whiskey, stick to the lower stuff. If you're not new to whiskey, I would say don't go too high on the proof, or you're going to overpower the turkey. So something like Bottled and Bond, always 50% alcohol. It's a really nice proof. You can get a really nice Bottled and Bond for really cheap. Evan Williams actually makes a really nice one. 1792 is a little harder to get your hands on, especially in California. But if you can find it, it's really nice. Really nice notes of apple. It's like caramel apple. 1792 is known a little bit more for their spice. They have a little more of a high rye to them. So you're going to get a little more of that cinnamon baking spice to them, but it's very nice. So this would be my second go-to. If you're not into ryes, a nice bourbon Bottled and Bond would be the best fit. All right, number 3. You can get your hands on this. It's the perfect thing for Thanksgiving. This is for all my wine drinkers out there. It's called Beaujolais Nouveau. Now, Beaujolais comes out of the Beaujolais region in France. They drink this to celebrate the end of the harvest. So they take the youngest wine they have, which is about, I believe, no more than 6 weeks old, and that's what they drink. This is perfect. This is perfect for like the end of harvest. It kind of goes along with Thanksgiving a little bit. If you're not a heavy wine drinker or you're not a heavy red drinker, you think they're too overpowering, this is perfect. It's very young, which means the tannins are going to be very low. The acidity is going to be pretty high, but you're going to get a lot of that strawberry, raspberry, bright red, like cherry fruits to them. And it's even a wine that they say that you should chill down to about 50, 55 degrees. And it's really, really nice. I can't wait to open mine this year. So this is a very, very nice wine to have on Thanksgiving. It'll be a crowd favorite. If you can pick up a bottle, there might still be some on the shelf. They tend to sell out pretty quickly. Um, but it's only about $10. It's a perfect buy if you can find one. And everybody will love it. So my fourth bottle that I think is perfect for Thanksgiving would be a white wine. So most white wines go great with turkey. They go great with light meats. I would say Chardonnays are nice, but I would say something with a little more acidity, a little more citrus fruit to them goes a little better. So I would say something like a Pinot Grigio would probably be best. You could do a Sauvignon Blanc. I prefer Pinot Grigios. A little more acidity, a little more like apple flavor, whereas Sauvignon Blancs tend to have a little more stone fruit or tropical fruits to them. Um, if you want to have a Chardonnay, Chardonnays are also great. Um, but if you want to have a Chardonnay with a little more acidity, a little more acidity fruit to them, I would go with an unoaked Chardonnay, which just means that the Chardonnay wasn't ever in an oak barrel, which gives it that buttery, silky texture to it. Um, so I don't have a white wine with me right now, but if you pick up a bottle, there's some great Pinot Grigios, Chardonnays out there for $15. Don't overspend on it. Now, for my fifth bottle, if you are not into white wine and you like red wines, but you can't pick up a bottle of this, you like a little more darkness to it, a little more density, don't go with a Cabernet, don't go with the red, go with a really nice Pinot Noir. This right here is Venstone Pinot Noir. It's made by Joe Wagner. If you've ever had Meiomi, you'll know who Joe Wagner is. This is his newest edition, Venstone. $20 bottle. It's fantastic. A little more density, a little more silkiness, but you're still going to get nice like raspberry, blackberry, a little more darker fruits to them, and it's fantastic. You don't really want to go with a Cabernet or a red wine because those are going to be a little more heavy. You don't want it too heavy when, again, you're trying to have the focus on your meal, not really on the wine. You want the wine to accompany the meal, not the other way around. Now, my sixth bottle, this bottle is if you don't like whiskey and you don't like wine, but you're a beer person, I would go with a stout. Now, stouts are a little bit more heavy. You might not want to have it with your meal. You might want to have it for something for after your meal. It can be pretty filling. They tend to be higher proof. So stouts are going to be a little more heavy. You don't want to go too crazy. This one right here, probably not the stout I would choose because it's almost 12% alcohol by volume. That is an insane imperial stout. But a nice stout would go great after your meal, during your meal. If you want a beer, I would go with something lighter, maybe like a Hefeweizen or something like that. Something that's not going to fill you up too much and take away from your food. Personally, I'm going to have a little bit of this one, a little bit of this one, and a little bit of this one. Because this year is going to be a crazy one. COVID, Thanksgiving, they really don't go together. So this has been the 6 bottles that I think you guys should try this year. You don't need to pick up all of them. If you just pick up one, try it out with your meal. If you need a little bit of alcohol this season, one of these will work really great. If you decide to pick up something, please comment what you picked up this year. If you have suggestions for what I should try next year, also leave that in the comments. If you think I missed something off this list, please let me know. If you want to see something else, if you want me to go over more reviews, tasting reviews on each single one, I will do that. Leave a like, comment, and please subscribe to this channel. I'm going to bring a lot more stuff to this channel in the weeks to come. It's been nice talking to you guys. Have a good one. I'm out of here. Bye.